Hopefully it's gonna work. Okay.
From the perspective of a player who has played World of Warcraft back in 2004, the idea that I had about this game when I first tried this game, together with my friends back then, was exactly what the name has implied, World of Warcraft. So it was a world, and it was about war, which was quite intriguing, to be honest, because there was not a single game back in that day that was as capturing as World of Warcraft in that regard. I mean, there were other MMOs, yes, sure, but nothing was as direct in conveying this message as World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And I tried the game, and I was baffled, because the game was exactly as we have thought it to be. You could travel anywhere on this huge and vast world, and you could attack anyone from the opposite faction.
Okay.
And back in those good old times, there was always these attempts to rally groups of people into going into raids and storming into cities of the opposite faction.
When's the good part coming? The part about me?
But usually these events would not really end up rallying as many people as you would hope for.
Let's talk about me.
So you know that the game has a limit capacity which exceeds.
Can we please start talking about me?
Exceeds what you have gathered, but that's the limit of your influence. People have other things to do in the game. People are questing, people are doing endgame content, and it happens to be...
I give it 30 more seconds.
...that World PvP was not linked to any kind of progress in the game.
That's true.
And that is exactly and precisely what Asmongold has managed to achieve. He has managed to achieve something that Blizzard have failed to achieve. And why am I saying that? Well, you know that when World of Warcraft launched, Battlegrounds were not included in the game. It was
not till later.
The hope or the impression was that people would gather together and go into raids together to attack enemy territory.
Ego plus
which
5.
happened, but the lack of incentive to do so has made players reluctant to go on these long journeys. They would rather go to dungeons and do duels. So they introduced Battlegrounds, which made PvP much more accessible, which captured the...
You guys ever have a like a college professor that just really, he likes to talk? Like, he loves to talk. He talks about, like, literally anything. Forever. For a long period of time. And he just keeps talking. And he keeps talking. And he never stops. This is what it reminds me of right now.
Fun aspects about PvP and World PvP into an instance that is easily accessible, that is organized, that is structured, that is linked to an incentive and rewards. And this wasn't the initial impression that was given, or that was conveyed by Blizzard when they launched World of Warcraft. You know? And this particular Asmongold has managed to achieve exactly that.
Newbie, thanks for the 3.
He has
Play Mage.
Brought server capacities to the limits.
Yes.
The servers, despite being in the year 2019,
yes,
have been lagging extremely during the events of Asmongold.
Thanks, Superman T, for the
which means that he's pushing the game to its limits, and I believe that is why so many people have been intrigued by this whole story of his, and have been always keen to follow him and keen to join his events, because it is exactly doing that what Blizzard tried to do at the beginning but could not really convey effectively towards players.
I will do what Blizzard cannot.
And that is why I enjoy watching his content. I enjoy... I actually don't play in the US. I would have been better off if I played in a European server. But just because the mere fact that I know that at some point in the future I'd really like to join these events, I decided to play on his server, and I did not regret it. I have joined the Battle of Frey Island. It's a name that I gave that event, by the way. It's not a real...
That was a good fucking time, dude.
Established.
That was a good fucking time,
that was an event in which he stormed the enemy territories near Ratchet. It was fantastic. It was an experience that was absolutely manic. It was great. I loved it. And that is why I decided to join his guild. I decided to join his guild, and I enjoy watching his content.
Mm-hmm.
But
who doesn't?
That does not in any case mean that I'm some kind of fanatic cultist in terms of glorifying everything he says or glorifying everything he does. Now, of course,
Okay.
everyone
That's too
has
bad.
good and bad aspects, and I believe this kind of exposure that this person had has made him more exposed to his mistakes or things that he has said that people have not agreed with, which
Yes.
amplified the situation that he has
Very
involved in so
true.
much controversy. However, there is something you have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that this person has managed to achieve something in this game that no other person has achieved. He has launched, together with Classic WoW, with a viewership that has peaked at almost 300,000, I believe, and he has turned the idea of world PvP, which was an essential component in the original Vanilla WoW before Battlegrounds came out, into reality. He has converted that idea into an actual reality. Hence, I would even argue that the launch of Classic WoW is far more interesting and exciting than the launch of Vanilla WoW, despite this being a game that we have played for so long and such a
Wow.
long time ago. Now, I do
Okay.
realize that this person has an eccentric personality. I do realize that the lifestyle of this person is very, very representative of the lifestyle of a typical gamer. The lifestyle of a
I like how
trashy
he's
gamer
so
who lives
politically
in his-
correct. He's so politically correct about everything. And yeah, we got to zone out and then back in because we're not able to be invited. Okay. So yeah, just invite everybody and we'll start this up. Okay. Just go ahead and send invites, guys, and we'll regroup.
Mom's house. It wasn't able to succeed in real life.
Yep.
However, that is not a reason to be unfair towards this personality. It is absolutely not a reason to be unfair towards this personality.
Okay.
There's absolutely no reason to do that.
True.
This person has achieved things that neither of us, neither you, the viewer, or I, the person in this video, have managed to achieve.
That's
We always
right.
wish to be in that position, but we never managed to do it. He managed to do it. He has achieved that which we were not able to, despite him being as normal as we all are, and maybe even less.
Probably
And
less.
this particular trait about him, that he is so normal, or even less than normal, in terms of traits in his life and in aspects about
I
his
paid him to
personality,
make this video,
has
by
made
the
many
way.
people jealous. Many people feel
I did pay him to make
how
this
should I
video.
say, rather not impressed, but I would say impressed in a bad way.
Okay.
That this normal person has done all this, and everyone has the impression that I could be in that position. I could have been the one who does this. Why him?
Yep.
Well, that's the situation.
Pure. Thanks for
It is
1,000
how it
bits.
is. And
Appreciate
he
that.
has I would like to quote one of his famous sayings, which is quite philosophical, actually. It's, sometimes you get it, and sometimes you get got. And I believe that particular quote is of absolute importance and relevance here, because despite his personality, his eccentric style, and his normality,
Yeah.
he has done something that neither us nor Blizzard have managed to achieve.
Yep.
And for that, I give him the credit. And you have to give him the credit for that as well. Whether you
You-
agree
you
with him,
do.
whether you
You
like
have
him
to.
or not, you have to give him the credit of the achievements that he
Very
has managed
true.
to accomplish. That is simply
Very,
the truth.
very
That is
true.
simply the things as they are. And there's no reason to hate. There's no reason to start hating on a person because he had some kind of situation in which he said something that you didn't agree with. You don't have to agree with anything. You don't have to be a blind fanboy, as they call them, but you have to be fair. And
Okay.
this person has done something that he's contributed to this game in a way that I've always wished to be part of the game, and an essential part of the game, since the early days.
That's
So
right.
for that, I give him the salute. I give him the fullest credit that he deserves. And that's the notion of this video. I wanted to clear the perspective and point out this point of view from a different perspective,
What a great video.
and also recap what happened during the Battle of Frey Island, which was of course a great and fantastic event. And that basically, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the video.
Guys, what a great video. I mean, really, what an incredible video.